Hey y'all, hey. So what's up? Yes, guess what? It's Thursday, y'all. Um Wednesday was really tough for Suge, but I'm on tonight and I'm hoping, this is a one-off, and I'm hoping that some of y'all hop on with me. I know I didn't give anybody like notice ahead of time about that I was going to show up on the Thursday, but here we go. Here we go. So I'm Natalie Sugar Brown, okay? Woman pugilist, okay? That means I'm a woman boxer. Well, I think I'm still in the game because they come with that right contract. I'll take it. But yes, all right. And so this is my platform to talk about women's boxing with you guys. Okay, I've been there and I done it. Okay, and this is just me giving back, talking about the life of a female pugilist, of a woman pugilist, what the world is, what the game is, what the real game is, how to read between the lines on these news, on the news and these so-called facts that are out here about women's boxing. Okay. And like I always say, for those who are new, you don't have to know, right? You can always ask. And I love when you ask. Okay. But if you do know, drop some of that, drop some of them gems in the comments, right? Chime in anytime. Not a judgmental place, but I will stick it to you. I will say I ain't going to game you, but I'm going to stick it to you if you know if necessary, or and people have stuck it to Sugar, right? So it's fair game on here. I ain't scared of nobody. Don't you be scared of me. um so yes, Mike comes in talking about, hey Sugar, hey Mike, hey. And I want to also tonight give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to little his name, Lil A. Okay, I'm gonna call him Lil A. Keep his privacy, but he one of my producers tonight, and he young in the game, and he doing it, and he cute in doing it too. And so I want to give him a shout out. Helping with the show tonight. Thank you, babe. So Mike is on, and Lil A is on, and hopefully other people hop on too. But yeah, Mike, I'll start off the chat tonight. That's good. The chat tonight's about Clarissa Shields, right, versus the double back, right? So that's what I meant. The double back. The double back meaning now she went and double back on uh, a blemish that she has on her self-proclaimed guatness, guotedness, okay, where she got dropped. Michael Orr comes in. Definitely shout out to the new young producers, right? Because we love young skin in the game, young blood in the game. We love that when they're interested. We love when they're making use of their smarts and their knowledge. And I just love the fact that this little young, y'all should see him too. Boy, I tell you, mess around, mess around. No, I ain't going to do it. It ain't going to be no Sugar Kelly. I'm sorry. It ain't going to be that. But I'm telling you, he is just he's just adorable. Um, yeah. It's just adorable that he's in the game and he's doing it the way he doing it, right? Oh, are you gonna reveal yourself? I called you Lil A, but to throw the public off. And Evan comes in talking about thanks, Sugar. All right, Evan. So y'all know it now. All right, my little second in command. His name Evan, and he doing it. Sometimes he gonna be doing it on the show with Suge, along with Mike and my other guys at Talking Fight. Okay, so that too is what I love about Talk and Fight, right? Talking Fight is a platform, is a channel that encourages the youth, the youngins to come in and participate and give what they can and what they know to the game as we elevate it and evolve it to where it can now reach you guys the way it should, right? So um, I, I love my folks. I love my guys here, Talking Fight, and um, so we want to talk about this Shields fight coming up this weekend. Cause listen, I had to talk about it, and I had to double back. I had to bring it back. Okay, I had to bring it back because Sugar's the only one. Sugar's the only one that got the nerve to talk about this thing of steroids and performance enhancement in women's boxing, right? I kind of scope the playing field, and everybody wants to be friends, and don't nobody want to say nothing about nobody else, and because they want the friendships and the politics to keep going. But I'm telling y'all this, okay? Sugar's doing it because it's this thing is bigger than a friendship, right? Because a friendship over somebody's life is questionable, right? Life is divine. Life is something that we can't buy nor sell, nor and to make a life is a miracle. Okay? So when you have somebody doing unethical things, especially in the game that we are in, that ain't a game, right? It's a sport, right? The last of the gladiatorship, where we're going in there to butcher another human being, to assault another human being. And you now, instead of doing the hard work, now you taking drugs to do this? Mm-mm. Homie don't play that, and homie won't play that, right? And I'm gonna be the one to speak on it. I ain't got to be. I ain't got to be your friend. I ain't got to make no friends. I'm done. And when Sugar was in it, maybe that's why, maybe that's why things went the way they did, But I regret nothing. Um, so yeah, we talking about the double back, lovely assistant. Let's start off with the side, because I don't know how long the show gonna be. Um, and whoever it is that want to speak about it and speak on it, you can. You can even, be anonymous. You know, this must be said. So Hannah Gabriel's, it was Clarissa Shields versus Hannah Gabriel's, as you guys can see. Sexy record, huh? 21, 2 and 1. Ooh, right? And goodness, one of those defeats was by Clarissa. I got my notes here because I wanted to she's had some gifts, Hannah Gabriel's, because like I said, there was a girl named Melissa Dia that waxed that ass when she was first starting, but that girl, she flew down into the lioness's den, which is, I think, Hannah Gabriel's is from Costa Rica. Is it Costa Rica? Yeah. So she had flew down to there. She flew down there and took the challenge. And I'm telling you, one of women's boxing notable fights, and it was a great scrap. Great. You heard me? Okay. Y'all look it up. I'm hoping it's still online, right? So her name is Melissa Dia Perez, okay? Gave helped herself to that ass, to Hannah Gabriel, right? So that's how I got I was supposed to in my career, I was supposed to had faced off with Hannah Gabriel's at a certain point, and it just never manifested, because I am a Caribbean. At the end of the day, I am the Caribbean gal. I am the Caribbean broad. I was representing the Caribbean. Okay, so any bad bit that thought she, was bad, I wanted to fight her out of the Caribbean. So Costa Rica, okay. My people was over there in Virgin Islands, so they were like, okay. They put Hannah on the table. I said, cool. But Hannah's people damn said that they would only fight me if I flew down to Costa Rica. And at the time, Hannah Gabriel's wasn't nobody for me to fly down to Costa Rica to risk a L with, I missed too bad at the time. I'm toting an elite amateur record, amateur legacy, and to fly down to this broad's neighborhood to fight her was just not me. So that went on, past. She ended up fighting notable names like Yvonne Reyes. Her and I have an opponent in common, which is Rachel Clark. She got a draw with Rachel Clark. Rachel Clark was my second loss. The reason why Rachel Clark, I would, if the fight is there, I hurt Rachel in the fight. I don't know. I don't understand how you could hurt somebody in the fight and have them staggering and still be the loser in the fight, right? But I was, I believe it was Jersey we fought in, and Rachel's management or manager bought her spot on the card, and this was before I got hip to the shenanigans where Rachel was A-side, and they because I would fight anybody at the time, especially Rachel Clark was me coming out of hiatus. I played right into their hands. So it is what it is. I don't have footage on the fight. I'm hoping it pops up, but yeah. And Rachel Clark's a big broad. When I gotta give Miss Too Bad a pat on the back because she was fearless. Rachel Clark is probably about 5'11", and big. She's supposed to be. She sucked down to something like 145, and I went up to fight her at 145. But Rachel Clark she has fought as high as 175 comfortably. So it is what it is. But I wasn't the protected fighter, which is what I talk about a lot out here. Whereas a lot of the records that you see and a lot of the setups that you see where, oh, she won and all this and all that, not in women's boxing, right? We get cut some really, really raw deals, okay? And so I could speak on it. Anyway, she fought, Hannah Gabriel's fought Melisandre Perez. And the first time, they stopped it. I think they stopped it prematurely. And then the second time, I didn't see that fight, but it was a TKO as well, right? So they stopped Melisandre Perez the first time. They were refs, right? Refs are, sorry, I ain't getting back in there unless the price is right. Where I will dot all my I's and cross my T's, but refs are usually scumbags. Yeah. And I call them, I've had refs that pull for sugar, but Not pull for sugar where, oh, I'm gonna make sure sugar wins, but pull for sugar meaning I I'm gonna make sure you have a fair fight, sugar. And that's all we ever want in refs, right? But refs now are paid off to also beat on the opposition, right? So um my one of my trainers, Jerome Coffey, taught me the art of fighting two people in the ring at the same time, because he's the one now that had opened my eyes. Everyone else was on that fair fight stuff. They didn't understand the dynamic of being in there and and getting justice from the ref, right? So it's like, oh, you're going to take the beats, you're going to take the pushes from the ref, you're going to take the fact that the ref going to keep this person there and push you back, so you have to start over again. Jerome Coffey, uh, um, who was a really good fighter, great amateur, good fighter, um, taught me how to deal with those shenanigans in the ring, taught me what to look for, uh, because I used to see, I was in there, I experienced it happening, but I didn't know how to articulate it. I didn't know what it meant. And a lot of fighters walk away where we're talking about it, we're saying what happened, but then it sounds like, oh, you just complaining, oh, you being a sore loser. Not, no. We are literally fighting two people at the same time. Okay? You got the ref that'll elbow you in in your chest, in your body area, lean, do all of that stuff. Watch some of these boxing matches now, and you'll see how the refs earn their money, right? So that's why I say, a lot of these refs are slime balls, but you do your job. Some of them, it's entertainment, and everyone wants to have have a place under the spotlight. Trust me, even the referees, right? You see them, they putting on a show too, because they want people to look at them, and they want people to, um, they want to somehow steal the flow, and steal the entertaining aspect of the crowd, and they want to steal that from the fighters. Yeah, yes. If you know a ref, right? Because not many people like to speak up for themselves in this game, right? It's very mysterious that way. People talk a lot of shit in the background, right? But when it's time to get on a platform, to get on a box and speak, they're MIA. Oh, I got stuff to do. Oh. Yeah, that's how that works. That's why Sugar don't really have guests, right? Because I know how the game is. Um, Either way, back to this Hannah Gabriel's. She's fought a great contender in Oxandia Castillo. Like I said, this Oxandia Castillo was that gal. Just like how I'm excited. I was excited about uh, uh, Cameron, that just won the undisputed junior middleweight. I mean junior. Welterweight title or super lightweight title at 140. Before she got that, Chantel Cameron, I said, now that's a broad. That's a broad coming in. That's a bad one coming in. And now look at her. And she handedly has that place, right? She is deserving of that spot. Now, when I tell you about Oxandia Castillo at middleweight, to even super middleweight, I'm just letting y'all know. This one was a contender. She was not a protected fighter. She had many a raw deal, and the industry turned her into an opponent, which is very unfortunate. Um, which makes the pond shallow for women boxers, because now, it's getting to where it's turning into a soap opera, right? Real contenders don't get a chance. Um, so yeah, I mean, she's got some pretty name. She's got some pretty named names on her list, right? So her people, them in Costa Rica, were doing a pretty decent job of building this one. Um, she was their gal over there. In sponsorship, she had that money behind her. But see, God don't like ugly, whether you believe in God or not. The universe don't like ugly. So, um, just know karma's a bitch. Uh, like like the rest of us can be. So now Hannah Gabriel gets this opportunity to fight Clarissa Shields the first time. And when she fought Clarissa Shields, now Hannah Gabriel was rallying at middleweight to super middleweight around that time. Body nice, always marketed herself as Miss Fitness, right? Lovely assistant, do you have any more images just to show by any chance, right? So yeah, these two, I have Clarissa there. She's there, great, feeling good that, she has Hannah Gabriel as this now legitimate contender that she's going to be fighting. And Hannah Gabriel is just all smiles because she's saying, I'm going to make some money fighting this broad, right? And I think she believed that she could probably upstage T-Rex, Clarissa Shields. Um, so this fight happened. And in the fight, I would say Hannah she gave it a good college go and managed to put the Guat T-Rex, Clarissa Shields, on her ass. Yeah. So, I mean, that was a good one. Like, this is the fight world, right? So you may be getting me good or whatever, but I got that shot or I dropped you, right? That's in a sense like that's kind of somebody pulling your number. I got that off you, right? Lovely assistant, is there another image that we can share? So there you go, right? Now look in this image now, um at these weights, especially in women's boxing, we're getting on the scale. When you get up to super middleweight on up, you're not going to see a specimen of woman that is chiseled, um, rock hard body or anything like that, because we're not built that way. The the best body that I had ever seen at middleweight was Ann Wolfe. She was a solid middleweight, and you could see the work on her. Yeah. So Ann Wolfe, Wolfe was a real one at middleweight. But we start getting smooth when the weights go up, because we're not gaining weight now with muscle. We're gaining weight because we got to put the pounds on to make the scale, to make it right. So Hannah Gabriel drops Clarissa Shields, and I think she dropped Clarissa Shields with an uppercut. I think it was a right uppercut. Okay. The Clarissa came in, and she does her flurry. She does her flurries, right? And Clarissa Shields at the time, that's what she was known for. Clarissa Shields was known more so for her overwhelming flurries, not power at the time, right? So Gabrielle slipped that one up under it, and boom, Mouthpiece came out and everything. We slid in, you know. We were like at the edge of our seats now. What? She's down? Okay. Fight's interesting, right? So that happened. And so the talk after that, even though it went on, Clarissa got up, got herself straight, and finished the fight, right? And she wasn't taking no chances. She wasn't taking no more chances with Gabrielle's because now she knew that she could sting her. Yeah. So from that fight, you know, it was a L for Gabrielle, but Gabrielle went away with that. That L had a little bit of you know, had some weight to it because now she could still talk that talk. She could still sell herself and say, I am the only bad female fighter out here that has put this guat on her ass. Hello, that's me, Hannah Gabriel's. And guess what? I'll do it again. Right? Which brings us to this recent match where, you know, this recent match where now Clarissa Shields says she's going to get her drop back. That's why it's the double back, right? I know y'all be like, you know, this broad sugar, this crone, she always has some weird names for her episode, but I mean, that's how I talk, you guys. So, you know, that's the double back, right? You can double back. Yeah, she had to get it back. She had to double back and get her drop back, right? So in this time, Clarissa Shields feels like she's now a mature fighter, a mature woman in the ring now. She feels more powerful. She wants to give Hannah another, she want to ride with Hannah again, right? But she now has something else on her mind. She now has the intent to put Hannah Gabriel's on the mat. Lovely assistant. Any other image, right? So yeah, this is the flurry, and as you can see, I mean, Hannah Gabriel standing in there strong, like Clarissa Shields. Just because Clarissa won doesn't mean she ain't feel them hands. And that's why I have to say about a lot of these women boxers out here, just because a fight was won does not mean there was not damage done. And that's the thing. I mean, with women's boxing, the commentators aren't very good. They don't really sell what's going on in there because they have no clue. What y'all need to do out here in fight world is y'all need to hire some female fighters or some women who know what the terrain is, right? And not these stumble bums that can't even speak up for themselves and sell a fight. Talk to the women, boxers, former boxers, the women in boxing out here that know how to sell it, okay? And if you talking the talk, if you ask anybody out here in the game, Sugar knows how to sell a fight. I'll sell a fight, right? And this is not me trying to get a job, y'all. This is me doing justice to the industry that has made me who I am, unapologetically, right? And in doing that, in speaking about these encounters, we must have women who acknowledge these women in the ring, other women who are unapologetically behaving badly, right? Because we got to know, I know what that moxie is. I know how it feels, right? I know what it means to have the nerve to think that you're bad enough to fight in front of thousands of people, right? Win or lose, it takes a lot to do that. And the people who talk about that need to have that understanding of what this means, the feels of it, the connection between you and your opponent, you and that other broad that it's gonna go down with, that y'all gonna behave badly together, right? And the audience of people that's around that shows up to watch. Okay, there's just so many layers of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful naughtiness in that. But when you have, when you have some crumb bums talking about it, the enjoyment is not there. We can't have no fun with it, right? So look at this picture. This picture speaks 1,000 words, right? So you seen Clarissa, she took that shot, okay? She, when you take a shot like that, it's not, I'm winning, or the round's gonna be over. In this moment, Clarissa Shields understood that this shit ain't no joke, right? She did not bite off more than she can chew, but she probably took a bigger bite than her ass thought she could have managed, right? And you can see in this picture that Hannah Gabriel may not be as I technically skilled and as you know performance wise as alluring as Clarissa Shields, but when she put her hands on you, you gonna feel it, right? So you can see it in her legs, you can see it in her arms. She's a solid broad in there. She's a broad at the time. And Clarissa Shields, you can see her body's not as developed as Hannah Gabriel, right? But at this time, nobody was thinking what a lot of us in women's boxing was knowing, right? Which is they don't check for performance enhancement drugs 98% of the time. Now, there was a fighter that I was familiar with coming up. Her name is Trisha Hill. And I forgot who she went over. She went over to Germany to fight, and everybody knows at that time, this was in the 90s. Yeah, this was because she was pro. She didn't do amateur. When I was amateur, she was pro. She went over to Germany, and that was just, you went over to Germany. This was when Germany was doing what the UK is doing now, which is they were buying up all the belts, okay? But the thing about it is those broads in Germany, they could fight a little bit. They could. I forgot who Trisha Hill fought. I don't know if it was Esther Snowden or something like that. But Trisha went over there, and not only did she beat this broad, but she broke her face. Yeah, right? Like, it's one thing to get beat. The other thing, Trisha Hill broke this broad. I gotta look it up. Matter of fact, let me do some calculations right now. Let me look up Trisha Hill while we on the spot, while we talking. Right? Trisha Hill. Because y'all got to. Yeah, it's a little bit quiet. Just, y'all bear with me. Y'all look up Trisha. I'm seeing her right now. This is what really helped me get the understanding and got me hip early in the game about this. But Um, so Trisha Hill, and I don't have the picture of Trisha Hill. This is like an impromptu, like I'm just bringing this story to light. Trisha Hill ended her career 6 wins, 5 losses. Okay, but this one right here, I used to give her rounds and give her some sparring. She was a smaller broad at the time, out of the South, out of the dirty. Okay, fought featherweight, and she went over and fought. Is it, yeah, not Esther, but yeah, Silk Weckman, uh, Weckenmeyer, yeah, at Super Bantam. So she went down, okay, Silk Weckenmeyer, and uh, Silk, was a hot girl at the time. And you look up these names and you'll see the pictures. Okay. I'm going back, I'm taking it back, right? These are names of women boxers who fought back in the day. Names that should be mentioned, Trisha and Silk, right? Um, so Trisha Hill went over, and Trisha Hill also fought Kelsey Jeffries, who I think is gonna be on Brooke D's show one of these Tuesdays. So y'all check it out, right? Um, but she she beat Silk, who was an up and coming German girl. They were paying for her to get the belt and everything. Trisha, I mean, I spoke to Trisha before she went over to Germany as an amateur. I said, I mean, that's a solid L if you go over there. Trisha looked at me like she knew something that I didn't, and she for damn sure did know something that I didn't. So she went over to Germany, and like I said, she beat that broad up. And not only did she beat the broad, she broke her face. Yes. So it was in the news over there and came back over here that Trisha Hill did damage, like not only beat the girl, but did some like bodily damage to her. So Germany was like, huh? No, 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 no. Right? We paid for this. We paid for all of this. You ain't fin. No, no. We gotta see what's going on. If it's the bottom, we gotta get to it. So let's get to the bottom of this, okay? They had Trish take the P test or take that test, and sure enough, it came back that Trish failed the doping test, okay? And the title, because it was for the WIBF World Featherweight title, the title was given back to Silk. Yeah. Listen, stranger things have happened over there in Germany, like how, what you call it, like how uh, Anne Sophie Mathis knocked knocked out what's her name that fought Christina Hammer. Knocked her out. Knocked Christina Hammer out, and Christina Hammer still won the fight. Yeah, that happened over there in Germany. So, yeah, that's why and then after a while when we saw stuff like that happening, the power of women's boxing is no, you're not going to do that to us. So guess what? We just won't fight over there no more. So that cut their water, right? We cut their water. So nobody was going over to Germany to do nothing, right? Because at the end of the day, when a woman's fed up, we'll make sure you feel it. So they haven't made any more money from women's boxing for a very long time. Um, so yeah, I said that to say this. Um, that was the last time I heard of any testing actually happening I fought um, uh, fighters who, or I've been in the ring and fighters who I know were on performance enhancement drugs. Okay, um, in the amateurs too. In the amateurs too, because all they used to do is take your pee for the pregnancy, because nobody wants to be liable for nobody losing their baby in there, from the trauma, right? Nobody wants to be, and I'm not even going to lie, the the pregnancy test is come see, come saw, depending on where the commission is that you're fighting, right? Because if you're, I've seen it where the hometown girls stick test come back positive. Yeah, you got 2 lines, right? You got the stork is coming, and they still let her fight pregnant. Yeah. So nobody was testing. There hasn't been, the testing has not been stringent with women's boxing. Um, in male boxing, and I'm sure women's boxing, where the blood test, the HIV, the hepatitis tests don't get, you can get a fake test over and no one's following up, right? I've seen it, right? So you standing in front of somebody in the ring and they eyes yellow like Homer Simpson, they got the hep. But what you gonna do? Back out of the fight? That's what these things. I mean, this is how scary it gets in boxing, especially women's boxing, because there were no I's being dotted or T's being crossed. Now it seems as though if you have protection, because not every female fighter, very few, maybe, I would say I'll give it 10%, maybe 10% of female fighters now are protected, where they have enough power behind them to have certain things, like they have enough power behind them to make sure the tests are validated. They have enough power behind them to make, to possibly get the weigh-ins to happen properly, little things like that. But the big deal is, wasn't nobody testing for PEDs or performance enhancement drugs. Nobody was paying attention to women's boxing for that to matter. So I'm sure many of us have fought a broad that's on the juice. It is what it is, right? And you can tell, and I've said it in previous shows, just to show you guys, Sugar, I'm telling you the truth, the unadulterated truth about this game, right? Ain't no friends. I understand this thing. It ain't about me making friends. It's about me being loyal to the truth. You can tell, I can tell when a broad has worked for that body, where I say you can see the work on her, and when a broad it got that juice body, you could tell. So I ain't gonna say homegirl was on the juice in this picture, but now the proof is there. Lovely assistant. Let's see the next slide. So look at her, okay? This was an up-to-date, this is an up-to-date weigh-in picture, I think. It might not have been. No, because she didn't get to weigh in. So this is one of her weigh-in pictures, okay? Now, the thing about roids with us women, see, my guys told me, yeah. So this picture is a few years old. So this was from the first fight, right? And you see she cut, she looking, the jawline looking slim and all that. So who, the thing about this game, right, is there are many men in the game that know how to do this roid shit, know how to do this ped shit, because maybe they did it when they were in boxing, or they were bodybuilders, or whatever it is. So they know when to load, they know how to, and when to flush the shit out the system. Okay. The thing about it is, it's harder for women to flush it out of our systems because we carry more fat than men. And the remnants of the steroids stays in our fat. Okay. Just like you can tell if a broad has been pregnant within a past year, you could tell. Why? Because as women, we carry our hormones in our fat. So take for instance, and I can speak personally, after I had my child, I had so much fat on me that I had to fight to get the weight off, because as long as those pregnancy hormones were in my fat tissue, my body believed that I was still pregnant. So I would still be feeling like I had to eat for two. I would still be having the lethargy. I would still be having some of I would still be having the symptoms of pregnancy because of that. A lot of y'all don't know this. So it's a science of being, there's a science to being a female or to being a woman. And I understand it because I had to get to know myself and my anatomy and all of that stuff to become a fighter. Because what is it? I had to know myself, know thyself, right? If you don't know yourself, you cannot defeat anybody else, right? If you don't know yourself, you cannot step in front of anybody and call yourself trying to defeat them. Okay? Now, there are different types of these steroids. It seems like, there's the steroid that helps, the body, the muscles to metabolize and lean out. And listen, this is in, the fitness industry too. And I know a lot of broads, a lot of gals out there that they don't fight, but they do fitness. And they pop these peds like Tic Tacs, right? Because they, in their industry, or in their business, they have to use these things to sculpt themselves and to train to get themselves in looking like they're in a certain type of shape. And they have to perform. And I'll tell you this, nobody trains harder than a fighter. I said it. Argue with your mammy, right? Don't argue with me about that. As a fighter, and you will look through all of our pictures, okay? Look at me when I've been on the scale. Look at me. Look at Sugar's pictures. Look at these other broads pictures that you see cut out here, okay? It's hard work. It's hard work. So when I used to get on this scale, I didn't care. I get on there naked. You want to know why? Because I worked for this. Right? It's modesty. And I just got used to it. The first women's world the women's world championships, when we were the second women's world championships, when we went over to Turkey, we all expected that we were going to get on the scale with bathing suits on and shorts and all of that stuff. We were over there. They told us, nope, you getting on naked, right? If your coochie bald, if your coochie got a little fur, that's just going to be on you, right? But you getting on there naked, right? So we were like, what? I was still a teenager, and I was like, we were upset. Team USA, we were pissed because there were men in there, and they were looking at us like, get naked. And we were like, but there are men in here. So what Team USA did, were we took turns. That's why, I can't, there's just, we may not all have gotten along, right, on the team and everything, but there was a standard of dignity that all of us knew that we deserved. So we took off our jackets, and when one of our teammates was to get on the scale naked, it would be like it would be four of us, where one would have her jacket in the front of the one that's on the scale, and then the two would have their jackets up, that's standing on both sides, and then one in the back. So it was like we're standing in front of her to make sure that she knows she has her little space of privacy, and she was still on the scale naked, right? So we had each other's back that way. And that was empowering, it was empowering. Because at the time, I'm sure it doesn't happen now, but at the time, we were still being treated like second class citizens in boxing. Even though we had that big opportunity, they were like, yeah, you want to fight? Okay, well, this is what you got to go through. And we did it. We found a way to do it. We found a way to make it work for all of us, and we found a way to keep the respect for each other, and the dignity for us women. Oh, a woman's dignity, right? I'm not going to show you my cookies unless I want you to see them. Anyway, getting back to what I'm talking about. So there, in the fitness industry, in this sport industry, there are different types of steroids, right? And so you can never tell, but a lot of it is now steroids is to build more testosterone in the body. So the thing about testosterone is a hormone that's the hormone that builds muscle. That's the hormone that gives you that fighter's instinct. The testosterone is the thing that make the Hulk green and She-Hulk green. You know what I'm saying? It's that, and you can see it, right? And as the thing about that hormone is, it builds more and more and more the more you work. The more you put in, the more you get. The fly in the ointment is, that shit hurts. It hurts. The work hurts. Dear Lord, the work hurts. I'm talking about slavery. Yes. And so the thing about it is, the more you work, you sleep, and the body naturally, because the body is a wonderful, the most amazing creation in this universe, the human body, okay, is when you recover, the hormone comes and patches up the muscle, puts glycogen back, so you're literally, like you're like Wolverine. Like I'm a comic book gal, broad. So your body is rejuvenating, and the testosterone plays a big part in that. So a lot of athletes don't have the heart, and I'm saying it, to feel that, to go through that pain, um, to build the testosterone and to build their bodies the way it should be. And so if you could take it in a pill, if it come in a pill, or if it come in a liquid that you could just squirt in your mouth, or shoot up in, they're going to do it, right? It's a mental thing, I suppose, right? For me, I'm from people, my ancestors, my peoples, in my DNA, we hard work people. We hard work people. We people that don't expect to. I would never expect to win if I didn't work hard, right? And when I lose, just know that if that person indeed beat me solid, they deserve it because they worked hard for it. Oh, we got somebody chiming in. R Scarf One. Hey, baby. Let's see what you got to say tonight. So it's saying boxers that take the risk to fight in Germany know they likely need a knockout to win. The anti-doping test could be waived, so there may be no proof of enhanced performance. Right. And you see, you just following up on what I was saying, and vice versa, right? Because those Germans could have been taking those banned substances too, right? But what you going to do? You going to make them take the test in Germany? No, no, they're not going to do that, right? But what happened was Trisha Hill double backed back on their ass, and she said, you might be juicy. Guess what? I'm a juice too. And she went and broke that poor broad's face. And yes, they made her give them that sample. And sure enough, Trisha Hill was riding dirty out here. So, I mean, it is what it is. Trisha Hill, unfortunately, Trisha Hill had great potential. Good fighter. I gave her rounds. She was strong for a small broad. I don't. She may have been on the juice when I was giving her rounds, but skills pay the bills, right? Our Scarf One says they probably tampered with Hill's urine test. They probably, but I want you to look at Miss Hill's pictures. Back in those times, women fighters wasn't built like how Trisha was building. And I knew Trisha when she was a small, kind of lanky broad, and then she all of a sudden she started getting that weight on her. So, I mean, probably, right? But if the test came back dirty, right? Something had to be a catalyst for them to have a leg to stand on, because I will sue y'all ass. And she would have had grounds for a lawsuit if they indeed tampered with her P test and she could prove it, right? And Trisha Hill, she had money behind her. She had a little bit of money behind her. Our Scarf One says also the test results of her opponent were not publicly revealed. That's what I'm saying, because where she was, our Scarf One, she was in Germany. So, like I said, she flew into the den. So what's good for the goose? They weren't going. The gander was going to get was going to get what the goose wasn't going to give. Yeah, I'm talking like that. Old Southern. It's the old Southern people in my skin and blood, right? So you heard what I said, right? What's good? They say what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? But what they wanted for the gander, the goose wasn't going to give. Okay? So yeah, Trisha's opponent, Silk may have been riding dirty out here too. But back in the day, that's what you knew you were gonna face, especially as a woman boxer, flying over there to behave badly. But that's what they did, right? That's what we did. And they hurt a lot of us going over there too. They sent a lot of us back here. We flew over there for the sake of women's boxing, and they sent us back here hurt, right? So, and that's why we cut they bitch ass water over there in Germany. We stopped going over there. Just like I'm telling y'all to stop going to Quebec. Yeah, I said it, right? If they're not trying to make sure that people have a safe, fair fight, we don't need to be fighting there. Our Scarf One says Elina Tissin had her anti-doping test waived for at least one of her title fights. You see, that's why I love my misfits chiming in. And it seemed like you knew our Scarf One, but I like that you're chiming in. I'm not paying anybody. These are people who are fans of women's boxing, who care about women's boxing, who care enough to know the stories or try to find the truth about the stories. So our Scarf One, thank you. Our Scarf One says Universum is not in business anymore, so there's not enough money to entice boxers to fight there. I wonder why Universum is not in business anymore. It was too much shenanigans. You can't be a promoter and have fighters come over, right? And have solid fighters come over if you're not if you're not playing fair, or if there is not even if there's not even a fighter's chance, because that's what we bet on. We bet on ourselves as fighters. We got people in our corners that's betting on us just to go over there, or just to go to a place and be robbed and be put in danger and to be hurt, right? People are investing time and money in fighters too, to be doing that stuff. Our Scarf One says there were too many robberies. Yeah, you can't do that. And boxing is a lucrative industry. Everyone wants to see a fight. Everyone, right? So everyone wants to see a fight because there's always a fighting chance. We like to cheer for the underdog too. And we like to cheer for the hometown, right? But let the fighters decide. Let the fighters and all the energies of the gods of boxing and goddesses, right? Let the energies of the universe decide. It's already, the industry is already an industry of savagery, right? Then to add the cheating to it, to add a referee in there, that's going to see to it that someone gets hurt, and to help the fighter hurt the 2-against-1 in there. Watch a lot of these women's boxing fights, right? The referees, watch them. Our Scarf One says, we want the judges and referee to be fair and impartial. We want them to be, our Scarf One, but realistically, that's not going to happen, right? Realistically, we know that it's not going to be fair. There is going to be some kind of, there's going to be some kind of weight towards one fighter. In the amateurs, it was even worse, right? And especially if you're fighting overseas. When I went back, when I went to the World Championships twice and got beat by Irina Sinetskaya, right? The first one, okay, I give it to Irina. The second one in Turkey, I beat Irina. But all the Russians were winning over there when we went over there, right? So it's like, I don't know if there's any way to regulate and with that. The IABA, look what happened to IABA now. There was so much, there was so much, what do you call it? People being paid off and all of that, the president being involved in, these payoffs and all of that stuff. There was so much of it happening that look where they are now, right? I think they're disbanded. The AIBA, which was supposed to be like the amateur boxing world platform. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, you know, I think we should. I do agree that, we want the judges and the referee to be fair and impartial, but for the most part, we should give we should at least give both fighters a fighting chance. Okay, let the chips fall where they may. That's what makes this thing interesting, and that's what makes it money. Because if it's a good fight, it'll be a good rematch. And there's good money, because if I seen the first fight that I paid for and I know they fought good the first time, you got my money for the second one. That's what a lot of them don't see, right? Especially with women's boxing. Rematches are what the thing is. That's what's going on. That's what the good thing about women's boxing is, right? Because we're so emotional, and we need a story to sell our fights, right? So having a rematch with a broad that you had a good fight with will still sell. Trust me. So, going back to, the different steroids. So there's different steroids, and Hannah Gabriel, she got caught, right? And this is the thing. Lovely assistant, can you change the change the image? We have another one coming up. I mean, you look at her on there, okay? She's solid. Hannah Gabriel's fights, she had the belt. I think she has the belt at light heavyweight. Light heavyweight is what, 178, 178 pounds? So she's up there, and she's a title holder at light heavyweight. Okay, you see her on there. She's solid. She in the gym lifting the weights and stuff. Okay, did she need it? I don't think she needed. I don't think she needed it, but um, this child wasn't looking like this when she went to fight Melissa India. She was just looking like like a in shape, a fit girl. You could still see the smoothness, and she wasn't as hard. But I mean, who's to say when she picked up on this bad habit that she just got caught for? So yeah. So Hannah Gabriel's rallied from welterweight 147 right on up to light heavyweight 178. Okay, this is what she was doing out here. So she got lovely assistant. Oh well, no, not yet. She gave her sample. All right. And I gave you guys, look at the sugar shows, okay? I do have an episode about doping. I do. So check it out, okay? So I did have a discussion. I do have an episode about this dope thing, because nobody wants to talk about it or wanted to talk about it, but I will. Right. So there's an agency called the VADA, right? It's called the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency. And the VADA works for particular sanctioning bodies. They are the ones that are in charge of making sure that all of the athletes that are champions, or all of the top contenders who are a part of this program, remain clean, or remain clean from banned substances. So if you're a part of this, right, they can just randomly show up at your door and demand samples from you. As an amateur, we had those things where they just show up. Hey, pop, pop. You could be at the gym. They could just show up wherever you're known to be and say, hey, I need you to drop this sample. And you got to go give them a sample. And whether, it came back clean or dirty was really up to, whether you were playing fair or not, right? I used to welcome them, right? To the point where I was going to be real cheeky and put my sample in a champagne glass, because that's how clean and crystal clean I knew my stuff was, and pure. Okay, so a lot of us, welcome that, but I used to see many fighters that were, edgy about it. Virginia Fuchs, right? They trying to push her. She was on Team USA for, I think, the last Olympics, and she went and got caught with the dirty test. And wait a minute, when she turned around, she went and said, y'all, that her sample came back dirty because she was having sex with her boyfriend, and she got contaminated. She got contaminated by his bodily fluids. Girl, what you say? Girl, what you do? Girl, what you doing out here? I said, what? Now, I ain't finna judge nobody for behaving badly that way. As a matter of fact, it's fun to behave badly in those ways. But girl, you went and swallowed it down and it came back in your pee and said that you was on the stuff? You lying. You lying. It don't work like that. You know how many of us out here behaves bad, right? And it don't come out. It just it, right. The sloppy toppy just don't. It don't come out in your sample that way. It just don't do that. So Virginia came out with that lame ass excuse. I mean, lame. One thing, I thought it was lame because she tried to be edgy with it. Like, yeah, I got it from my boyfriend. My boyfriend's on steroids, not me. And my sample came back dirty because I just didn't know. I didn't know he was on steroids, and I swallowed it. They gonna put me off the internet, y'all. Say, listen, they gonna put me off the internet because I shouldn't be talking to y'all about this like this. But I mean, I'm not making anything up. I'm not making it up. And Virginia ain't saying nothing about it since. Oh, we have somebody else coming in. DevOps team. Sugar slam on supping. Oh, they corrected themselves. Sugar slam on doping. I mean, I gotta slam it, DevOps team. Why? Because if it was something where it's fair game, everyone could do it, okay. But if you know people are, like you should not be doing it, and get, people have died doing this. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Right? Why wouldn't you have the confidence in yourself to just do the hard work? If you can't do the hard work, then do what you can and end up where you end up in the ring if you want to be a fighter. That's where I'm at with that whole thing, right? Like I said, I mentioned this in a previous show where I was talking to a fellow fighter out here, and she was telling me how her management, her handler, knew how to make sure they cut weight properly. I didn't know, like my people didn't have that knowledge. I was like, wow, I wish I had that knowledge. I wish my people had that knowledge where they knew the science of cutting weight. My people was just like, you gonna run and run, you gonna work and work until you get that weight down. You gonna eat cantaloupe, watermelon, and crackers to get your weight down. And that's what you're gonna do. And you're gonna do what you can while you're doing it to get down. Like who? This is it, right? You're gonna eat that jello, and that's all you're gonna have for months so you can get this weight down. Well, that's not healthy. And I just got word that the Talking Fight family has a nutrition video on our platform about weight cutting and making weight the proper way and all of that stuff. So now, because I'm an old bird, sugar old out here. Now y'all have the tools. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Y'all have the tools, and y'all still cheating. Don't do that. Like my baby used to say. DevOps team says, what I mean was to provide viewers with the link to your previous show, link above. Oh, okay. Talk and Fight, my people. Sorry about that, DevOps. My, uh, can y'all put my link up there? I think it's called Dope Broads. I think that was the title of that show. I think it was called Dope Broads. See if you can find a link. I know a couple of the thing about it, DevOps team is my guy who is quick on the links ain't on with me tonight. So they may put it on later if you come back later if they don't do it on the show tonight. Okay, DevOps team? But yeah, right? Sugar did the show about that. And I'm glad that you requested the link for that too. But yeah, I try to educate that. Like I try to. I know what I know what I know the stuff that I speak on. Okay. Um, and I'm not saying what I say is better than what anybody else is saying. What I'm saying is I'm 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 telling y'all the truth. That's it. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people feelings get hurt because sometimes it touches on some of their stuff that they're doing, but there's no harm. I mean no harm by anything that I say. If I'm a call everybody on their bullshit, right? I've even admitted to my own bullshit on here, right? This is Sugar's platform. And the thing about Sugar is my strength is the fact that I'm a no nonsense woman. I and I just am that way. I'm Ruby Scott's granddaughter, and she was that way till she closed her eyes for the last time, right? So I don't think I suppose I don't think I will ever change. Sugar ain't never lied. Um, but yeah. Anyway, we want to go back to what this Hannah done did. Okay. So Hannah gave her sample, and um, DevOps, my people are trying to post the link, but like I said, my youngin who's helping me out, he's still a bit inexperienced. Okay, so you gotta take your time with us. And for some reason, the link, he can't get the link to come up in the chat. And it's just go on the Talk and Fight website. Anybody that wants it, go on. And Sugar got a whole section, right? And the section is the episode is called Dope Broads. Just scroll down till you see it, right? DevOps team said I just posted it. Look at you. Thanks, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Now, where was I? So the John, the John done submitted the sample and it came back dirty. The John, Hannah Gabriel. This is like, y'all, I use colloquial terms as well when I speak. It's just adds a little flavor to the conversation. Sample returned dirty with clostebol, which is a testosterone derivative. And guess what this John said, how she got it in her system. She said she was rubbing down her dog. She said she was rubbing down her dog with the cream, and it got in her system. Oh, look, my host posted it too, DevOps team. The Dope Broads episode. So y'all got me. I feel y'all got my back. But yes, we're talking about Hannah. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I had to. So, yes. So it's a testosterone derivative. And let's get real cute on here and see about this cluster ball. Okay. Let's see what this thing do. She said it was in the cream. The dog needed it so bad. She couldn't get nobody else to rub the dog down. The dog just needed her to rub it down. So she risked her fight to rub the dog down. And now she done lost her money. Because she tested dirty for steroids. Right? So he says, what is cholesterbol used for? It says that cholesterbol is an athletic performance enhancer, and it's also used to fatten cattle. So the dog it's used to fatten cattle. That's cows. Why the dog need it? Why does the dog need to be rubbed down? Formulations containing cholesterbol have been used to treat osteoporosis, anorexia, and certain type of liver disease. So she could have even said that, right? She could have said, I'm a bit anorexic. She could have said, nah, I got bad bones, osteoporosis. She could have said the liver. She could have said, but she said she was using it because the dog needed it and the dog needed a rub down with it. Um, Colostebol in humans keeps testosterone levels high and estrogen low, and it leaves little trace. So, it gives uh, anyone who decides to take it a good position for trying to build more muscle. Okay. So, I mean, I still don't understand what the dog had to do with it. Why the dog needed it? Why did the dog need colostable, Hannah? Like, you put this story out here, not me. Or what was it? Your promoter. Your promoter put that out here that says that the ointment you were doing it to for your dog, to rub it on your dog. My whole thing is, like, you couldn't use the gloves. You couldn't put the gloves on and then rub the dog down. Girl, you risk all that money because I believe you. I believe you. The dog needed it. You wasn't trying to use it to cheat, girl. Anyway, lovely assistant, what's the next? Give me the next image, please. Y'all, they're gonna come get me. They're gonna try to come get me. I don't, because I'm not making none of this up. Lovely assistant, come on. Give me the other one. Girl, so yeah, Ludabella. Girl, look at you. Look at you, Hannah Gabriel. Look at you. And you so pretty to be in the news about this. Mm, mm, mm. Anyway, Ludabella explained that the steroidal cream was rubbed on the dog by her, and that's how her promoter, Ludabella, justified this situation now that Hannah Gabriel has gotten herself into. Now, Clarissa Shields has come out and she said, which is the truth. She said, if it were me that came back with a dirty blood test, I'd have made every damn newspaper. But now, Hannah Gabriel, she on next. And that's how it goes, right? Hannah will probably lay low for a little bit, and then she'll pop back up. She still got her titles and shit, so she'll pop back up and be the champ again. I guess, like, I suppose, that happens in male boxing too. Canelo, right? We had the discussion on the Dope Broads episode, and Canelo's name, Canelo Alvarez, came up. And it's the same thing. He's taking the drugs that, they using for cattle on some where's the beef type shit. Like, I don't like, and I'm not judging, but if they're making these things for these animals, I know that, like, it's not, why would I take these things for a cow? Why would I take that? I'm not a cow. Why are you taking the cortisol, the colostebol, girl? You're not a cow. So now this is where Hannah Gabriel leaves it. You know, this is where it's left. Girl, this whole thing, this that you did, discredits everything that you've ever done. That's how that steroid shit works. Yeah, because you cheat once. Who's to say you ain't been cheating the whole time, girl? I got to put my foot on her neck because this is serious. And a lot more of y'all are out here doing it. And a lot of y'all with these names are out here doing it too. You got enough money behind you to cover it up, to make these results go away, to waive these tests. But I'm telling you something, Hannah is just a start for women's boxing. Right? Hannah, I mean, not just, but she's one of the pioneers of this bullshit now, right? Her name goes down on that list. Where, you know, she's out here fighting dirty, right? Um, skills, skills pay the bills. So I don't know what to do. I'm here. I'm glitching out here. You guys, and I don't know my internet. Y'all know how my internet is. Um, at times, for those who are true, those who are new, I'm working on the. I'm really doing. I'm really just doing this at the bare bones, simplest way I can. But I, I'm a level up soon. Okay, I'm a level up soon. I'm just hoping that y'all can still enjoy sugar on, you know, on this level. Um, but yeah. So, you know, at this point, who has been a great contender, has tarnished her brand and her name with this type of stuff, right? The same thing with Virginia. Um, same thing with you know what I'm saying? And anyone, the risk is too, the risk isn't worth it, right? Um, goodness, I suppose I'm glitching you guys. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know what to, I don't know. I don't know what to do. You guys, I really apologize about this. Maybe it's my battery. I'm gonna wrap up soon. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up soon. Lovely assistant, can you put on the next image? Please? Do that. All right, so, you know, like I said, you know, she's standing there. I'm not sure. You guys, I may have to wrap this up right now. I may have to wrap the show up because it looks like the internet is really acting up. But I'm gonna end. Let's end the show with who Clarissa Shields' next opponent is, which is a great. She's a decent contender. She has fought some pretty decent opposition. Okay. The thing is, I don't she has a great you know, great profile out here. Sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna get the name right. So Marcella Cornejo is the now replacement for Hannah Gabriel's issue of not being able to pass the doping test to get this fight to happen. So I mean, I don't even think, I don't know if Clarissa will even fight her again. You know, that dope stuff really, it's cringe, you know. But Marcella Cornejo now has been out. She been out, y'all. She been out. And she's fought some names out here. I'm mentioning her name because I mean I'm gonna follow up on that fight next Wednesday for sure, right? But this tonight, I just had to make that, you know, this happening that came up. I had to make a whole ass episode about it because you know, number one, it's not fair. Number two, karma's a bee, right? You play dirty, you'll never win. And I think, I mean, you play dirty one time. You've been playing dirty the whole time, right? So, not sure how Hannah Gabriels is gonna recover from this blemish on her brand, but it does shine a light on the fact that, you know, people like Sugar. I mean, I'm one. I'm not making it up. Women's boxing is a is a savage terrain, right? Where I think it's more savage than the male boxing because no one really pays attention to us, right? So when we are doing this and when we do this, we do deserve the respect. Now, I don't think we deserve 3-minute money, right? I say 3-minute money, meaning men they fight for 3 minutes, right? They get paid for that. They capping us at 2 minutes. Not that women can't fight at 2-minute rounds. I think these women out here are not trained to fight at 2 minutes, and I don't think you can call yourself a GWOAT or the greatest woman to ever do shit if you haven't done what women who were great before you have done, which is fight the damn 3 minutes, right? If there were Olympics back then, there would have been Olympic champions. You know, if there, like, a lot of firsts happened, a lot of firsts happen. And like I said, I'm enjoying the ride with the current pound for pound. I think Clarissa Shields is pound for pound the best female boxer right now, but not the greatest woman of all time, right? Because you know, you still you still in 2 minutes, baby girl. Let's step up for women's boxing and add that extra minute in there. Train for the extra minute and start rallying for that, right? There are a lot of firsts being done. She knows a lot. She knows a lot about her industry and her sport. And I like that. I like her interviews and I like what she says. But at the same time, um, it's a double-edged sword where you got to you have to be humble in giving credit to the industry as a whole, right? And knowing what the terrain is and knowing what your fellow female fighters who are not as oh, my lovely assistant, my host put up a nutrition link too. Okay. But who have not been as graciously protected as you, Clarissa, right? You Still, we connected in the game. We we still have the same struggles, and we look to you because you are that broad right now to make sure that people know what the terrain, what the playing field is out here. I love I love what she did when she flew to the UK and beat up Savannah Marshall. That was all heart. I like how she sells her fights. I like how she takes on all comers. I like how she doesn't make any excuses about fighting the best that they throw at her, right? Like these others. I like the fact that Clarissa Shields doesn't she works for her wins. No one's giving her anything, unlike the other champions around here. So, I mean, I like these things. And I like the fact now that, somehow she has put a spotlight on what's been happening for years now, which is the dope broads in this industry that needs to be aired out. I like it. Good luck on this fight coming up. I want both fighters to perform, Clarissa Shields and Marcella Cornejo. And next Wednesday, we're just going to follow up and see who is the better gal that night, the better broad that night. So, lovely assistant, make me big on this screen so I could tell everybody good night, please. Yes. So, I mean, I'm at the end of the show. Y'all know sugar shows go long, but it's Thursday. I don't mean to take up my talking fight guys too much of their time because it ain't my night. But I thank everybody who chimed in tonight. I thank Mike Orr, who always chimes in. I thank Evan for being my host and co-producer tonight. I thank R Scarf One for chiming in. Thank you. I thank DevOps team for chiming in tonight. Thank you. You get some sugar too. And you guys check out Sugar's episodes. Ask questions. Let me know what you think. And Evan just gave me some hearts and some boxing gloves. Evan, you did wonderful tonight. And I just look forward to us working together from now on. You are fun. Um, and I know, see, when you get the youngins on your team, you get up to date now, because them young folk, they think about the new cool stuff that they can add to the mix, which is what a lot of us needed, and I for damn sure appreciate it. And anyway, you guys have a great weekend. I will see y'all next Wednesday. Y'all be good. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this sugar. And if you have anything else to say about this, any comments you want to make, anything you want to add to this conversation, add it down in the comments, you guys. Please, I want to hear what you got to say. Until next Wednesday, you guys, be good and bye-bye. See you next time.